Hello there, this is the social listening segment here on the BDTV Breakfast Show. This is where we get to analyze some of the top trends making the rounds across social media. My name is Elizabeth Musa. And of course, joining me in the studio this morning is Mr. OBDK or CAFO. Thank you for joining us, OBDK.
Thank you for having me.
It's always nice starting off this conversation with you. But let's start off today with the update by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission confirming the arrest of Martin's Innocent Osel, otherwise known as VeryDarkMan, following multiple petitions alleging serious financial misconduct. According to the commission, Osel has now been offered administrative bail and will leave after fulfilling his bail conditions. The EFCC added that VeryDarkMan repeatedly ignored several invitations sent to his known addresses and communication channels, prompting law enforcement to act. But we'll see how people are reacting to this one on social media, and I'll come hear your thoughts on this conversation, Mr. Obidike, because I know that you have a lot to say. We're speaking behind the scenes and you were sharing your thoughts. So let's see what the people on social media are saying, and then I'll get your own thoughts. Chido says EFCC will always come up with reasons to rope you into a crime, and those who are robbing the country billions of dollars are working for free. That's from Chido. Big Shine Bande 101 says it's laughable that a commission that is supposed to be reputable, that has failed to hold numerous Nigerian politicians to account, will stoop so low to further tarnish our reputation by the way and manner in which VDM was arrested when the real big fishes are out there chilling. Supreme Clerk says blindfolding the citizen for speaking up. This is not justice, it's intimidation. EFCC owes Nigerians an explanation. We demand transparency, not theatrics. That's from Supreme Clerk. Flygerian says financial crimes. What financial crimes? They had abducted him and I suspect they wanted to kill him. They probably would have done so if the public hadn't discovered that it was the EFCC who took him. That's a very, very, very extreme angle. But that's how people are reacting to the conversation about EFCC, VeryDarkMan, and I know we had this conversation on Monday, right? We had talked about his arrest, and then we had talked about the linkage with GT Bank and all of that.
Yes.
And we had talked about seeing how it unfolds.
Yes, yes.
So this is the unfolding now.
Earlier I told you that I can bet it has nothing to do with GTB, and that they just arrested him there. And that's exactly what happened. But the truth of the matter is, it's now turning into mind games. Because when you look at it, at first, people just said it was police. And later they found out it was EFCC. Even though EFCC people are mostly policemen that they move into the EFCC. And the bottom line is this. It's all mind games. Where the EFCC come out to say, we arrested him. What did they arrest him for? We've been calling him for financial crimes and he has not been coming. So we decided to arrest him. And that day, they didn't arrest only him. They arrested him and somebody else. But the person has been released. The person was released the day after. But unfortunately for VeryDarkMan, he's still in custody. And right now, between EFCC and his lawyer, they've just been, playing mind games, doing ping pong. EFCC say, we have a right to arrest him. The lawyer says, okay, if you're arresting him, what are you arresting him for? EFCC say financial crimes. The lawyer say, what are the financial crimes? So it's all going back and forth. Like, what are the financial crimes? EFCC have not mentioned. According to another of his lawyers that was present when they were interrogating him, the lawyer said EFCC is fishing because they were mentioning plenty of things there. They mentioned abuse of Naira. They mentioned they are suspecting his YouTube channel, the money he's making, and all of that. And they just mentioned quite a number of things without being specific. So the lawyer is saying they are fishing, but all these allegations were not there, but it's what the lawyer is alleging that happened. But the bottom line remains that all of this is just mind games. Mind games to what end? I don't know. But I think they are trying to pin something on VeryDarkMan, but they are still trying to, dot their I's and cross their T's. Because I remember a few months ago, VeryDarkMan had come out to say EFCC were literally after him on for some things that he is not even sure. But he said that he knows that EFCC will come for him. He has said it before on his, if you follow him on his YouTube channel, he has said it before that. And he has said it more than once. He has said it consistently. Like Nostradamus, he predicted his own arrest by EFCC. He said they claim to have things on me, but they really have nothing on me and all of that. So maybe they really don't have anything on him. Who knows? Or maybe they have something. Who knows? I think.
When did he say this thing where he said he has said that
EFCC on his YouTube channel that EFCC are looking for what to pin on him.
When did he say this?
On his YouTube channel, one of his many rants on his
really?
YouTube channel. Out of curiosity, I'm not a fan of VeryDarkMan, but out of curiosity, I always like to listen to what people say. I know because of all the people that have been accusing him. So he knew Mercy Kiwo incident where they took him to court and the court says he should pay how many billion, 1 billion or something like that, and he said he doesn't have any money and all of that. And there are some other people who have threatened to sue him for label and lying against them. So he knew that based on all of this, at the end of the day, some of them will eventually go to EFCC and EFCC will act on it. And him, according to EFCC, they've invited him quite a number of times and he didn't come.
Because according to his lawyer, Deji Adeyanju, Deji had mentioned, I saw that on the front pages of the paper today, that Deji had mentioned that they are unable to, point out VDM's offense.
They've not been able to point it out. And if you read what EFCC released, there was actually no offense there. They also had financial crimes.
You cannot point out the exact
financial crime. That's why I said all of this is just mind games. Mind games to what end? I don't know. They said he has been released, has been allowed to go on administrative bail, but that administrative bail, you know how Nigeria is. It takes a long process. And all these things is they are playing mind games to achieve something. But what they want to achieve, I don't know what it is. But there's something, there's an underlining thing that they are trying to achieve from all of this, but we don't know what it is yet. I think for me, the coming days will be interesting. People are already I think one of the reasons why EFCC had to release that statement was because people are already protesting and people were, firing shots at GTB. So EFCC had to come out to clear the air so that at least
so
they
to
will
just
back
clear
up.
GTB's name out
Yes, so that they will back up from, because
anomaly.
like even when we spoke the last time, I told you something. I said GTB has, if you check, you see that GTB has nothing to do with this at all. It was just that it was unfortunate that it was in their premises that VeryDarkMan and the other person was arrested, because the person is connected to VeryDarkMan, so they also arrested both of them. And before they released him and then focused on VeryDarkMan.
Right, let's move on to our second story today. The federal government has announced that it will proceed with the transition to computer-based testing, which is CBT, for the West African Examinations Council and the National Examinations Council, which is NECO, by 2026. Education Minister Tunji Alausa revealed this during a guest appearance yesterday on Channels Television. Now, this announcement follows growing concerns about the integrity of public examinations, particularly after the release of statistics from the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, which is UTME, which revealed that over 1.5 million of the 1.95 million candidates scored below 200 out of 400. I did JAMB, so when I saw that, I was gobsmacked. Like, I was literally gagged. When I saw it, I was shook, because I'm thinking like 200 out of 400, like they scored below 200. What is the problem? Is it the education system? Is it that people are not reading? And I can't even place it. But let's see the reactions on social media, then I'll get your own thoughts on this conversation, and then we move from there. So Ola says, I don't know why some Nigerians are blaming the government for mass failure in JAMB. The same Nigerian youth that spent most of their days on social media discussing topics that have no value. The truth is, Nigerians have been cheating, and the new system, which is CBT, just exposed them. That's from Ola. Williams Jerry Cray says, when it comes to JAM, that's when you see students reading. But WAEC, they don't, because the private schools are the culprits. The teacher writes the answers for students. Interesting expose there. 3007 says, please, before they introduce CBT into WAEC, ensure the necessary machineries are in place. Don't come and be stressing people's children. Make sure all bottlenecks are removed. Well, good one. Tolfon says, school teachers writing answers on boards for NECO and WAEC while examiners are getting bribed. So JAMB is a true test of students' competency. They don't prepare for WAEC and NECO. Overnight magic can't work for JAMB. I really like those submissions. Emperor Boogie says, if they shift WAEC and NECO to CBT, mass failure go too much. Nigerians don't read anymore. I won't blame the students, yes, because everyone is on TikTok. When the president of their nation doesn't have a certificate, what message are you passing? Where is the motivation? We're just being economical with the truth. Those are the comments. What are your own comments?
My own comments is a mess. It's a big mess. Everything is a mess. Let me tell you why I said so. Nigeria is not, we are not ready for CBT, whether JAMB or WAEC or NECO. We are not ready. We don't have structures on ground. We don't have proper structure on ground. And then if you go to the north, there are still a lot of people who are not, even in the south, there's a lot of people that are not, when it comes to computer, they're not computer literate. They are not digitally sound. Forget the fact that people can press phone. It has nothing to do with that.
Being computer literate.
There are still a lot of people who are not computer literate. And you see, this thing that happened in JAM, so people are saying because people didn't read and they exposed it. It's not true. There are people's systems that went off. Even people that read will still fail. People's systems went off. There are a lot of technical issues. In some places, the systems are not working. In some, as in, there were issues that are popping up. Another thing again is, this kind of thing, you don't just bring it out en masse. You build it in blocks. So for example, you can say, okay, this here, so you can do it in two ways. One way you can do it is, you can say, okay, this here, let's do it like this. We'll have selected centers. I know they tried that, but they tried it once and then they just continue from there. But you do it over time. Selected centers. From those selected centers, you grow to maybe states, selected states. Then you grow like that. And then you give people options. Do you want to do CBT? Do you want to do CBT, or do you want to like, you know, normal shading and all of that? So you pick the one. Because if they did that, for example, a lot of people in the north will have picked this, because having access to computers and ICT and all this is still a problem. See the other time when there was a riot in Kano, when there was a riot when there were riots in different parts of Nigeria over protests that turned to, you know, where miscreants took over. There was an ICT center that was built in somewhere in Kano, I think. And they destroyed it, and the party comes out because they don't see the value. So if you are not able to get people to see the value of something, they now want to they should take that thing and use it to write exams. It's not possible. It doesn't even make sense. So for me, it's a mess. And you see this thing that happened in JAM. It will happen in WAEC. The bad thing is, it will also affect the people that read and are intelligent. Computer going off doesn't know whether you read or not. You could read and your computer go off. You could read and your computer start glitching. Because they didn't think it through. They just felt, okay, it's a good idea to let's start doing ICT. They didn't, the way they've run this thing, this way they structured it, for me, it shows that all they'll keep doing is frustrating students. Frustrating people. Frustrating plus people that read, plus people that didn't read. It's just, like I said, it's just a mess. And they just keep frustrating people. That's just the truth. And it's unfortunate, but that's the truth.
So what then do you say about the candidates, the 1.95 million candidates that scored below 200?
I will say it was expected because a lot of people, there are a lot of issues. Some people escaped it. But I can bet you that if you go to the north, in a lot of places in the north, I can bet you without even minding words.
So you don't think it has anything to do with the students?
No, that's why I said it's a mixture of both.
Different things. Okay.
It's a mixture of both students who didn't read and went there. It's a little bit difficult to cheat. One, even though I know Nigerians always find a way out.
Absolutely.
Because Nigerians always find a way out.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, the technical hitches that will occur. Glitching, computer going off. That computer going off was like a common thing. Say the computer went off. Before you finish, it goes off. So, and also come on again, and it has gone. And there's no going back. People get asking what happened. And then some people, they take out the frustration at the exam center. They become violent, they become angry, and all of that. And I don't think, I can't say for sure, but I don't think JAMB has taken measures to really address the issues. And as long as they keep dragging feet, this 1.9, the number of
1.95, yes.
This you see how there was a mass failure.
Right.
WAEC and NECO, if they use the CBT next year, will experience mass
double
failures.
The amount.
Mass failures like never seen before.
Really?
I'm not doing it. If they're going to use CBT, because now, even in states where they struggle to use one computer, you're expected to get plenty of computers for school. JAMB is a little bit better because it's not, the numbers are a bit smaller because not everybody are registered for JAMB. But WAEC, there are more people. And there are schools, in Lagos alone, you have, I don't know how many thousands of schools you have, and you have students in SSC who write WAEC. And then you can imagine in every 36 states plus federal capital.
Oh, wow.
So, and then how do you manage it? How do you get the structure of, there will be, the issues will be massive. The issues will be massive. And once the issues are massive, it's going to, the effect of the results is going to be like horrible. That's why I said that next year, if they're going to do CBT, mass failure all the way. This JAMB only is a precursor to what will happen next year. If they ever CBT. I have a funny feeling they might retract. They might say, let's give it another time. But
so
let's
2027
or
2027. Maybe to further notice.
I don't know.
But
let's see how it goes.
Let's keep our fingers crossed on that one, and just as you said, see how it goes. Unfortunately, we have to leave it there. Fortunately, we have run out of time now. Thank you very much, Obidike Okafor, for your time this morning on the social listening segment. That's where we will bring it to a close today. My name is Elizabeth Musa. Keep watching BDTV.